Hi guys, welcome back to yet another video. My name is Martin. I'm filming this in my storage unit today, as I usually do. What I do on this channel is I show off 4 books from random and I end on a key issue. The random books that I show are books that you don't necessarily see a lot of on other channels. So if that's the kind of thing you want to see, please like and subscribe. I would very much appreciate it. Let's kick on. Yeah, I've got some good stuff. Just having a quick look here. Okay, so the first one I want to show off is Ren and Stimpy. The Ren and Stimpy Show issue 10, and this issue is Bubble Bath. Now, I liked this series, but for me, it has um, the crutch of being a comic about a cartoon series which is not meant for kids, um, but it's hampered by a publisher who is catering for kids. So it's a very much it's a it's a two-edged sword for Marvel, because they want to. It's obvious that they want to kind of push the boundaries on what they can say and do with Ren and Stimpy, um, but they have to cater for kids. So where do you draw the line in terms of the more grotesque, the more adult content? Look, it's the same with the Simpsons comics from Bongo. I would read them, and I've read a lot of Simpsons comics, but I would read them and I would say, oh, if only Bongo realized that the only people who were reading these books were middle-aged men like me. If you know what, if Marvel had have gone, okay, we have 2 versions here. We have the regular Ren and Stimpy show series, but we also have an adult version, which crosses the line in terms of good taste. I think that would go a long way. And you'd have people like me who would go, you know what? I'll get both. I'll get the series that's catered for kids, and I'll also get the series that is catered for adults. And if Bongo had done the same, I think there would have been more power to them, and they would have got more sales. But yeah, I just wanted to have a bit of a word about that. Now the next one, I'll flip it around a little bit. The next one I want to show off is She-Hulk issue 22, and this is by Peter David, and the artist written up here is Moll, and I cannot remember their full name, but this is a Mike Diodato cover, um, and Peter David took over from Dan Slott, and I think the series really amped up. Peter David kind of knew what he was getting into, knew the rhythm, knew the style, and just went, let's go, and just ran with it. But unfortunately, the series wasn't selling as great as it could have been, and eventually it just went. Okay, that's it. We're stopping, which is unfortunate because I jumped on with Peter David. Um, you know, in hindsight, I should have read all of Dan Slott's run, but his writing style is really not to my taste. But Peter David's was, and is, and I'm very happy to have this and the entire run of Peter David's She-Hulk in my collection, and there we go. The next one is a milestone issue. It's issue 50 of Robin by Chuck Dixon and Staz Johnson, and I'd like to see Staz do more work. I think he's a solid artist, um, and this could have been like the key issue for the video because it is a landmark issue. I think if there was to be a 50th issue of Robin today, DC would make a big deal about it because you simply do not get to 50 issues these days. But this was an oversized issue. It was not run of the mill, but you knew what you were getting. And if you're a fan of this series and this style, then it was just more of the same, and it was some really good stuff. I am a fan of Robin, and particularly this series. And if I could get every single issue, I would. I recently found 3 issues. I showed them off in a previous video. but the guy who sold them to me told me he has pretty much all of these books, and he can sell them to me for $3 each. So I'm kind of interested in completing the entire run, but I do note that the end of the series, the quality is starting to differ, because Tim is getting a little bit older, and it's not really making a lot of sense for him to remain as Robin. Like visually, it just looks a little bit off that Robin's not a kid; he's becoming a full grown man. But that's the latest issues of this series. It's not issue 50. That's issue 50. Now, the last one, um, I'll just show it to you. It's Superman. It's Superman issue 261. I think this is Kurt Swan doing the art use. Please let me know in the comments down below. I was going to say Neil Adams, but I don't think it's that dynamic for Neil. But it is the famous Superman foot fetish or shoe fetish cover. And I bought this probably about 4 years ago now. And the price of this book was higher than it is now. It's an interesting read. I would read it again, but then again, I have a lot of books back at home. I really shouldn't be taking books like this back home to read again, because my other comic books, they look at me and they say, "What do you read this one for again?" We all have to be read. But anyway, that's the video for today. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe if you wish to. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll catch you next one.